Hi, I'm Dr. Evan Zellinger from Abington Aesthetic and Laser Medical Center, and today we're going to talk about aging. Now, everybody ages in different ways, and sometimes it's not the way we think it's happening. So, first we're going to talk about the way our skin ages. Skin can age in multiple ways. First of all, after we develop and we're in our 20s, from then on, it's getting thinner and thinner every year. Now, it takes a while for this to happen, and there are things we can do to prevent it, obviously, but our skin is getting thinner and it's also losing a little bit of elasticity every year. It's also changing in color, so the more sun we're exposed to, the more sun damage is going to be created. So you're going to get lentigos or little brown spots or freckles or sometimes even little light spots where the melanin or the melanocytes are burned out and you get little light areas. So all the changes in color will lead to photoaging. Also the texture of the skin or the smoothness of the skin. When we're children or babies, our skin beams, it glows because it's very, very smooth. As we get older, we create more ridges in the skin which will trap light when it shines on our face, and it won't bounce out as much. We also create wrinkles in our skin from motion or emoting or emotions or expressing ourselves. The face is the only area in the body where muscles are actually attached to skin, so we can make facial expressions, so people can know what we're thinking or feeling. But unfortunately, if we do this over and over and over again, like a sheet of paper getting crumpled or bent over and over again, you're going to create a line or a wrinkle. And that's just from repetitive crinkling of the skin or wrinkling of the skin. The active wrinkles that we acquire in our faces are usually, if we start from top to bottom, are usually starting at the forehead when we get these horizontal lines. This is just the frontalis muscle. All it does is just lift the eyebrows up, and when it relaxes, it goes back down. And most times we're using something like Botox or Xeomin or Dysport to relax these muscles so they don't crinkle up the skin as much. There's also the glabella, this area in the center where people tend to scowl and they look very concentrated. And there's a muscle here and here, a corrugator muscle and a procerus muscle in the middle. And we're the same thing. We're using neuromodulators or Botox, Dysport, Xeomin to weaken those muscles so you don't crinkle or wrinkle the skin as much. One of the problems is if it's left untouched for a while or untreated for long enough, not only does the skin wrinkle, but the actual fat underneath it, or the subcuticular fat underneath the skin, it starts to die, and you'll create a valley or a line, a permanent line that no matter how much Botox we put in, it won't be filled. And then we have to go in and we use medicines like fillers, Juvederm, Bellafill, those type of things. Some more of these active wrinkles are wrinkles around the eyes. When people smile, they make these quote-unquote crow's feet. So they get little lines around the eye and sometimes under the eye. Again, we can treat these with neuromodulators like Botox, Dysport, or Xeomin. Sometimes these little creases around the nose, we can also treat those with Botox or neuromodulators. The skin in this area, right inside the eye, it's very difficult to treat. We're usually using some sort of laser resurfacing procedure because you can't use neuromodulators there. As we're heading down towards the lower face, we're looking at the nasolabial folds, and this just, you get these from smiling. So these are good, happy wrinkles, but it's just from smiling over and over and over again, or talking or eating, we start to create a deeper and deeper line in this area. And that's usually treated not with Botox or neuromodulators, because we want to be able to move those muscles so we look natural. So we usually use fillers like Juvederm or Restylane or Radius or Bellafill to fill those areas up. Now, some things that we don't really think about as far as aging is our fat loss. When we lose fat and volume loss in our face. So a lot of people don't think about every year we're losing, some people say up to 5 cc's or 5 grams of fat in their face. So, and that comes out in different places for everybody. Some people lose it under their eyes, some people lose it in their cheeks, some people lose it in this curve right here. But really, we're losing it everywhere. Our face is getting thinner and thinner every year. Even if we sometimes gain weight in our body, our face is losing volume. It's also losing volume through bone loss. We're losing, volume in our jaw and our cheekbones. all that plays into aging. Another part of aging that we really don't think about is laxity in our structures, not just the skin, but the structures underneath the skin, the muscles, all the connective tissue. As time goes on, it starts to fall, and instead of our young 20-year-olds having all of their face in this triangle where most of it is from this area pointing downward, we start to fall and create jowls, and most of this starts to go away, this cheek area, and it starts to fall like we're deflating a balloon. So we can treat that by tightening the underlying structures with say Ultherapy. We can replace the volume that we lost through fillers like Juvederm, Bellafill, Sculptra, where we can put the actual fillers everywhere. We can even put it in the temples. People don't even think about the temples. They lose fat and these temples start to get drawn in on some people. The cheeks, we can create more of this triangle again by pulling up the cheeks and putting volume in the cheeks and picking up these jowls, and also tightening the skin around them. One place that's not really thought of too often is above the upper lip. A lot of times we'll put filler in the other upper lip because this skin and this tissue gets very thin and it tends to almost curve outward. So we put a little bit of volume sometimes in the upper lip, and the lips will tend to curve under as time goes on. You're not losing lip volume, that's something you retain, but the lips tend to fold under the skin and you tend to lose the face of the lips. So sometimes putting a little bit of filler in here to bring it out, and a little bit of filler in the top, or sometimes even in the belly of the lip to bring the lip out a little bit more. Same thing with the bottom lip. Sometimes they can fold under a little bit. We lose sometimes volume in our chin, and sometimes in this pre-jowl sulcus area, this area right next to the jowls. We lose fat in this area, and it gives the appearance of jowling. Even when people sometimes don't have jowls, when you lose this fat, it makes it look like we have jowls. So sometimes we'll put a little bit of volume back in this area just to square off the jaw. Not so square that it looks masculine, but just to give you that shape again, those nice angles that we're looking for, the straight lines and angles. All of these are part of aging, and if you just correct one of them, sometimes it can look unnatural. So you don't want to focus on one specific area. You really want to focus on the whole picture. Sometimes you've heard the saying, less is more. Sometimes less is more. Not correcting something to 100% completion, but maybe doing 2 or 3 different things partially, and reverse aging a little bit slower and more gradually so you look natural. No one wants to look fake. Well, almost nobody wants to look fake.